The half shaft of the Pakistani car owner broke again, so his cousin sent it to the repair shop and asked the master to splice the broken shaft rod. Because the owner's truck had broken down on the roadside, in order not to delay the delivery time, the master first symbolically measured the original length. Of course, there was a huge inaccuracy in this data. At least the master also measured carefully. This half elbow that was broken in the middle wanted to restore its strength without losing length. Only the hole in the center of the elbow could be used for docking. Because the material hardness of the elbow is relatively high, it must be heated before formal processing to achieve the purpose of unealing and softening to reduce the hardness. Then use their Rowan knife to cut. The uneven end surface is cut to be completely flat, which is convenient for the master to drill holes for the elbow in the future, on the premise that the elbow center of the elbow is confirmed to be correct for splicing. The splicing hole of the elbow is indispensable. This is also the key to the concentricity of the two elbows. After the master confirms the hole depth with a twist drill, in order to make the splicing stronger, the hole diameter must be further expanded. The larger the metal exterior with an embedded hole, the higher the strength of the elbow joint. After the master's skilled processing, in order to allow the metal to bear the force inside, the inner wall of the position needs to be processed with fine pressure. It can only reduce the difficulty of elbow joining and not affect the original concentricity of the half elbow. Although that processing requires exquisite lathe technology, it is a beginner for Pakistani masters. Since directly splicing the shaft rod will shorten the length and the whole position needs to be embedded, the master can only use scrap round rods for processing. The main purpose is to connect the shaft rod through the hole position. Then, the hole diameter of the hole position is used as the processing standard. The prepared round rod is cut to be completely consistent with the inner diameter of the shaft rod hole position. After the master uses a caliper to measure accurately, the master now has to cut the outer thread that is consistent with the hole position on the surface of the round rod. Cut out the outer thread that is consistent with the thread of the hole position. Only with the thread mouth that is consistent with the tool can it be completely pressed. The other shaft rod is connected in the same way. The length of this round rod is also calculated, which is also the reason why the round rod is longer than the hole position. After processing the jointed screw rod from this round rod, the master will cut it according to the precise data. Then the screw rod with the hole joint is processed. Then the screw rod is connected with the flower sword and shaft rod. If the lathe rotates without eccentricity, then this screw rod meets the use requirements. The hole diameters of the two shaft rods are completely consistent. After the test is correct, the flange end is tightened. Under the premise of restoring the original length, the end face of the rod cannot be completely fitted to avoid affecting the length of the half shaft after splicing. Then the lathe top is used to support the half shaft. There is no need to measure the concentricity of this whole joint. Welding. Because welding will generate high temperature, the master also uses the ductile G507 welding rod to weld the joint gap in layers to ensure that the welding quality can meet the use requirements. After the master's 10-minute reinforcement welding, in order to avoid the welding bar affecting the rotation of the half shaft, the excess scraps on the bar need to be cut flat, and the shaft rod should not show welding marks as much as possible. After the master applied anti-rust material to cover it, the half shaft that was originally broken and exploded was connected through the hole with the processed screw rod. It's amazing.